Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Within seconds of this situation beginning, our teachers were heroes.
Well, this morning, 2 children are dead, 17 people injured following a Catholic school shooting in Minneapolis. What survivors are saying about their teachers who sprung into action to save them.
And Canyon Lake's water level is near a 2-year high after the July 4th floods with Labor Day weekend coming. Officials talk about safety on the water and what to watch out for.
Plus, a slow job market is on the rise, but it's only temporary, according to experts. A look at which industries are showing a rise in popularity for new hires.
Well, good morning. Thanks for watching us here on GMSA at 9. It is Thursday, August 28th. And before we get to your top stories for today, it is KSAT Pigskin Classic Day.
Indeed. Kickoff now less than, what are we, about 11 hours away. Sotomayor versus Clark tonight at 7 o'clock. And if you can't be there, you can watch it all on our KSAT streaming platforms, including KSAT 12 right now. Sotomayor is one of San Antonio's newer high schools, and it's also home to a great junior ROTC program.
Well, later on in the newscast, our Justin Horn will give us a look at their Air Force affiliated program. So we look forward to that. Very
good. So again, Clark, Sotomayor tonight.
Can't wait for it. Can't wait. And that ROTC program is legit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to show you guys that. Let's look at the forecast for the Pigskin Classic, KSAT Pigskin Classic. It'll be near 100, we think, for a high today. So a kickoff, I'm saying 97. It's probably going to feel hotter than that. 90 at halftime, 85 by the time the game is winding down. Sotomayor is the home team. Clark is the away team. Of course, Dub Ferris Stadium, 7 p.m. We hope to see you out there. Just know that it will be blazing hot, and you'll need to hydrate. And, of course, the temperature on the field will be even hotter. We always know that is the situation. So as we look at the big picture here, there is a frontal boundary that is up there in the Texas Panhandle. Believe it or not, this front will eventually, and I do mean eventually, make it down here, but it is going to take some time. This will be a slow-moving front that kind of pulls up stationary for a couple days and then finally gets pushed down here as we get into, looks like Sunday. High temperatures today, as I said, 100, 99 in San Angelo, 101 Abilene. Really the only place in the state that is feeling some cooler air is going to be up there in Amarillo, 87. They are behind that front. So we'll talk about the timing of this front, the rain chances, and everything you need to know for Labor Day weekend. That's all coming up here in just a couple minutes.
Thank you, Justin. Let's look out there with TransGuide this morning to see if there are any trouble spots. Looking over at some of the cameras, things are moving this morning. Just some of the usual stalls there. Well, here, construction in this area, but 37 Alamo Dome, there's usual slowdown there. And of course, this is the construction area that we are used to seeing a little bit of a slowdown. Well, one man is dead and a woman in the hospital following a shooting at an East Side motel. San Antonio police tell us that a man was shot multiple times during a fight with a woman. This happened on East Houston Street early this morning. Now, authorities say that that woman accidentally shot herself in the arm while defending herself. So she was taken to a nearby home by a family member before calling EMS and is now in the hospital.
All right, 4 people are now being charged after Bexar County deputies busted an illegal gambling business. Now, Jason Garcia, Randy Hinojosa, and Jacqueline Gonzalez all worked at the Royal Room 777 on the southeast side. And they're now facing illegal gambling charges. Deputies seized 60 gambling machines and more than $67,000. They also cited 18 people for illegal gambling. Sheriff Javier Salazar says that for these types of businesses to be legal, the gambling machines can only be used for amusement, and the prizes must be non-cash merchandise, toys, or novelties.
Well, college campuses across the country are on edge after a wave of active shooter hoaxes.
Nearly a dozen fake reports of campus shootings were made just last week, and many of them are believed to be connected to the same group. Now, investigators say members of a swatting group called Purgatory likely targeted at least 10 universities between August 21st and August 25th.
And while all of the calls turned out to be false alarms, experts warn that these hoaxes are dangerous and can carry steep penalties and put both students and first responders at risk. So just this week on Tuesday, UTSA had 2 swatting incidents on their campus. In their first report, a caller reported a potential incident at the main building. Now, the second call claimed that there was a threat in campus housing.
A message was sent out to UTSA students, faculty, and staff on Wednesday morning by the UTSA police chief about the incidents, saying that UTSA police responded to these locations and 2 emergency alerts were made to the campus community. Upon further investigation, no threats were found and all clear alerts were sent.
Well, a community mourning as family and friends honor the victims of the Catholic school shooting in Minneapolis.
Yeah, so 2 children were killed and 17 other people were injured when a shooter opened fire through the church's stained glass windows during the first mass of the new school year yesterday. Well, ABC's Rebecca Jarvis spoke to some survivors who say their teachers sprung into action to protect them.
This morning, the urgent hunt for a motive in Minneapolis after a lone shooter sprayed bullets into a church at Annunciation Catholic School, killing 2 children, ages 8 and 10, and injuring at least 17 others, mostly children.
This worship service was marking the first week of school. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible.
Police say the suspect, armed with a rifle, shotgun, and pistol, approached the side of the church at the beginning of Mass just before 8:30 a.m. Wednesday. The shooter firing dozens of rounds through the stained glass windows.
All we hear is pow, pow, pow. And my classmates, some of my classmates thought it was confetti because they saw the glass from the stained glass windows flying. But right when I heard the shots, I knew I just needed to get down and try to keep everyone safe.
Students say their teachers immediately leapt into action, sheltering them underneath pews and hiding them throughout the school. First responders on the scene within minutes, as panicked parents and loved ones did the same, desperate to reunite with the pre-K through 8th grade students. Authorities say the shooter, identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, born Robert Westman, died by a self-inflicted gunshot wound near the rear of the church.
And we're learning the assailant had ties with the church. Police say they believe the shooter attended the school, and according to an online post from the church, the suspect's mother worked there as recently as 2021.
According to investigators, the suspect recently and legally purchased the weapons used during the assault.
Additional firearms are being recovered from those 3 residential locations as we speak. We're also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down.
The Minneapolis mayor calling for more action beyond thoughts and prayers.
And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school.
And that was Rebecca Jarvis reporting, and here's today's 9 at 9. So 2 ministry leaders were arrested yesterday during an FBI raid at the Joshua Media Ministries International Campus in Houston. The Justice Department says this is all part of a national crackdown on a forced labor scheme linked to money laundering. Prosecutors claim they recruited people to fund their ministry, and if found guilty, they face up to 20 years in prison.
According to a New York Times report, alligator Alcatraz is emptying out fast in Florida. The number of detainees could reach 0 in just a few days after a federal judge ordered the center to close due to environmental concerns. Despite this, Governor Ron DeSantis says Florida plans to open a new detention center near Jacksonville.
The director of the CDC has been ousted from her position just weeks into her tenure. Dr. Suzanne Monedes was sworn in the director of the CDC on July 31st, making her tenure the shortest of any in the agency's history. Now her departure to leave the CDC leaderless at a perilous time.
Meanwhile, the FDA has approved updated COVID-19 vaccines, but only for a more limited group. Adults age 65 and older and younger people who are at higher risk from the virus. The FDA's vaccine approvals now go before an influential advisory committee to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Some sharks may have to learn how to nibble their food in the future. A new study finds that water with an increased level of acid can cause problems for shark teeth. So in the midst of higher carbon emissions, seawater has become more acidic. So there's been a 30% rise over the past 2 centuries.
The FAA has banned cordless curling irons and flat irons that use butane or gas cartridges in checked bags because they can cause fires in the cargo hold. Spare gas cartridges are also not allowed. You can still bring these tools in your carry-on, but only if you have a safety cover to stop them from turning on by accident.
Well, some Ford owners will need to make a trip to the dealer. The automaker is recalling more than 355,000 of its pickup trucks due to a technical glitch that causes the instrument panel to go blank. So those include the 2025 Ford F-150 and Ford 250 SDs from model years 2025 and 2026.
Claire's has revealed a list of hundreds of stores it will close as part of its Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings. In a court filing this week, the jewelry retailer listed more than 290 stores it plans to close. They include some of its icing brand stores. The stores are expected to close on a rolling basis.
Well, YouTube is adding a new way to pay for NFL Sunday Ticket. Football fans can now get the service on a month-to-month basis. It is $85 a month for first-time subscribers. So those with YouTube TV will pay $115 per month. Those without it, $145 per month. All right, now to the job market. As it continues to slow, the number of sectors adding jobs is narrowing. So for job seekers, where does opportunity lie right now? Economists note that one in particular continues to grow, and that is anything in the healthcare industry.
Government jobs data for July show healthcare and social assistance accounted for the entirety of the month's overall gains. Meanwhile, areas that were hot just a few years ago, like tech and finance, are peeling back.
Economists have described the current state of the jobs market as no hire, no fire. Not a lot of layoffs, but employers not confident enough to hire either.
Uncertainty really is the theme for 2025. It's been a big driver for why the economy has slowed down over the course of the year, and it is probably the blocker that is going to prevent hiring from picking up through the rest of the year unless some of that uncertainty gets resolved.
Well, experts say frustrated job seekers should note that the job market stagnancy and slow job market growth is only temporary.
All right, 9:09 right now, 82 degrees outside, still ahead on GMS at 9.
Well, local artists creating a scavenger hunt with kind messages for people to find around the city. Still ahead, our conversation with Daniela Oliver del Portillo about hidden blooms.
And is the water safe? That's a big question many have over the coming Labor Day weekend following the July 4th floods. After the break, what officials are saying about Canyon Lake and what to be aware of. And live cam on this Thursday, start of high school football around San Antonio and, of course, Texas. Of course, we've got the KSAT Pigskin Classic coming up at Ferris Stadium later on. Plenty of heat to be had and some rain chances as well. Justin will break it down for us coming.
Hi, welcome back. It is 9:13 and Labor Day weekend, often time for a lot of people to take to the water. But with this being the first holiday weekend since the July 4th floods, how confident can you be getting back on the Guadalupe River?
Great question. Our Garrett Berger shares what we know about water quality and debris right now, all the way downstream to Canyon Lake.
Heading into Labor Day, Canyon Lake's water level is around the highest it's been in about 2 years. 5 of its boat ramps now open to the public. It's hard to forget how it happened.
Certainly, we've seen an increase in activity on the lake. The reason why it happened is a tragedy that no one ever wants to relive.
The deadly July 4th flooding on the Guadalupe River ravaged Kerr County 100 miles upstream before those same waters emptied into Canyon Lake. Nearly 2 months have passed now, so is the water safe? The Upper Guadalupe River Authority, which covers the hardest hit areas, says on its website that water quality in Kerr County tested within normal levels, but also warns of dangerous debris just below the surface. And the city of Kerrville is advising people not to swim or boat because of it. But Canyon Lake is a different story.
We have not seen any issues, nor have we received any alerts. To our knowledge, everything is good to go.
The water-oriented recreation district of Comal County says testing results at the lake were also within normal limits for recreation. As for navigation hazards,
most of the debris that came in around July 5th, 6th, pretty much floated to specific designated areas and then is sunk.
There's the occasional log or branch or stick, but that's true in any water body.
Ryan Pert was out on the lake with his dad Wednesday, which he says they do every other week. And he's not worried about debris anymore.
How much of the lake would you say you've covered?
Probably a good 70% of it, 80% of it.
Okay. Haven't run into any issues?
Nothing.
Well, let's not forget about regular water safety either. You're going to be out on a boat, life jackets for you and everyone else on board.
Because water's great, but it doesn't take a flood for it to be dangerous, too. In Comal County, Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
And speaking of water, cases of flesh-eating bacteria are on the rise. So according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, these dangerous bacteria love warm coastal waters, especially where fresh water mixes with the sea, so something called brackish waters.
Yes, you can catch this infection when contaminated water gets into your body through a cut or an open sore. About 1 in 5 people who get this infection don't survive, so it's important to be careful. If you have a cut and you plan to swim or handle seafood, make sure to keep it clean and covered.
Eesh.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't sound too good.
Not very.
No, that's
pleasant.
not good. And good to see there in Garrett's story that water quality is okay if you're heading down to Canyon Lake and the Guadalupe and Comau. And a lot of people will be floating the river this weekend.
Yes.
We'll show you the flows coming up next half hour, but they're okay. If that's in your plans, just know you may be dodging some rain.
Yeah.
That much we do know this weekend. All right, let's go outside for you. 82 degrees at the airport and at New Braunfels. Look at the heat index, though. Already feels like 90 in New Braunfels with a south-southwesterly wind at 11. These temperatures will race upwards today. It is going to be a hot and humid day. Here are some of the headlines. So the frontal timing, and yes, we still do have that front this weekend. This is a little tricky. We're still kind of pouring through the models here. They can't seem to really agree, but some of our best ones are still showing that Sunday is our day for this front to kind of ease through. It's just these early season fronts, sometimes they can't make up their mind. They'll stall, they get pushed by thunderstorm activity, but that's the latest thinking. Will it be a washout this weekend? No, but there will be some storms possible, showers and storms. And temperature-wise, still hot Saturday, but we should get some slightly cooler numbers Sunday and Monday. So those are kind of the main takeaways as we go forward here. Let me show you the setup across the state. There is the front. This is the same one that will move through. It'll be a very slow process for it to get all the way down here. In the meantime, showers and a few storms up along that front there in parts of Oklahoma and far, far north Texas this morning. High temperatures today, around 100 here in San Antonio. A lot of places in the state will be up near that century mark. Amarillo, the one cooler spot with highs in the upper 80s there. Let's go to tomorrow. Front does make a little bit of a push to the south and then pulls up stationary. So the slightly, and I mean slightly cooler air will exist across North Texas. You're still looking at mid to upper 90s here. But the really hot stuff will be across deep South Texas, 101 in San Antonio tomorrow, 105 in Laredo. Let's go one day further now. Let's look at Saturday. That front still has not made it here. I think it'll be on our doorstep by Saturday evening. So you're starting to see some better temperatures up here across, Dallas, Wichita Falls, Amarillo, perhaps in the 70s, but still hot here on Saturday. And daytime highs will finally come down Sunday into Monday once we get, I think, behind this front. But again, it's not super cool by any stretch of the imagination. This front's kind of limping in here. So you look at the futurecast when it comes to rain, and I think by Saturday evening, this is Saturday 5 o'clock, we'll have rain on our doorstep. Now Saturday evening, the best odds for rain will be in the hill country and north of San Antonio. But this front will kind of ease through, I think, on Sunday. And as it does, our rain chances will go up. Again, it won't be rainy all day. It'll be kind of just a scattering of showers and maybe a couple thunderstorms. And then by late Sunday to early Monday, we should see some showers and storms along this front, and we could see some lingering rain into Monday. I think Monday is still kind of the question mark. How far south can this front push? Will it take all the rain with it? Some of the models still show some lingering rain on Monday. My gut is to say that I think a lot of this will have pushed south. We shall see. 101 Friday, 97 Saturday, 92 Sunday, as we showed you. A 40% chance of rain, 30% chance Saturday afternoon, 40% chance Sunday, and then we'll keep some lingering rain chances in there on Labor Day as well. Then it's back to the heat next week. So I don't want people to think this front is one that's going to bring some fall-like weather, because it will not.
No scarves.
But it is kind of our first foray with at least some kind of boundary that will cool us down at least a little bit for a couple days.
Gotcha. Right. No scarves, no jackets. We get it.
Right.
Just a little break from the hot temperature.
Exactly.
We'll take
But the football games will be toasty.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
All right. Including the KSAT 12 Pigskin Classic. That's not a terrible thing. So
No.
hope to see you later on tonight.
Yes,
Okay.
Stay with us here.
Indeed. We've got something cool up next. An artist, a local artist, we got to talk to her in the last hour, and she's got a unique art installation / scavenger hunt. What she's doing for the people of San Antonio, as a matter of fact, today. We'll talk about that coming up.
And we are joined this morning by Daniela Oliver del Portillo, who is a local artist. Thank you for being here.
And she's currently participating in the San Antonio River Foundation's Open Art Program with her incentive or initiative called Hidden Blooms. Daniela, you quite literally create these pieces and you hide them for people to find.
Yeah. So the message for people is that life is not perfect. but it is a gift. So I'm giving you a gift to remind you to accept your imperfections and take something beautiful home with you. Our culture is infused with art. It's infused with just the willingness to, even though we come from all sorts of different backgrounds, share with each other. So I think that's my contribution to San Antonio.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's fantastic.
And this is actually saying to someone, you can become an art collector.
Yeah.
You find this piece, take it home, and it'll be yours for the taking.
How many of these hidden blooms have you had throughout the community?
So the project is a total of 40, and the last one, rain pending, right? Weather pending.
Yeah, weather permitting.
The last day is going to be on September 3rd.
So are you hiding any today?
I am. These two are going to be like, I'm going straight to the Mission Reach right after this.
Oh, that's fantastic. I think it's such a cool concept. It's absolutely beautiful. Well, there it is one more time again. Daniela Oliver de Portillo. Find her on your favorite social media handles. And again, Hidden Blooms is the art installation.
Can't wait to see it on social media. Thank you, Daniela, for being here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Beautiful stuff. Okay, very good.
We loved interviewing her.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. And probably as we speak, she may have already hidden those two pieces. And they're up for grabs if you can find them.
We kind of wanted to follow her on the way out.
I know, but we had to be here. We had to be here. So.
And give hints, right?
I know, it was super cool. So, okay. Yeah. All right, it is 9:26 right now. It's 82 degrees outside and still ahead on GMSA at 9.
Well, Via's Stone Oak Park and Ride, it costs about $25 million, but the ridership is still very low. A driver wanting to know, is it all worth it? Still ahead, KSAT Investigates looks into that answer. Well, welcome back. It is 9:30 now, and is it living up to its full potential? So a driver reached out to KSAT Investigates to look into Via's Stone Oak Park and Ride.
So it's been there for years, and KSAT Investigates' Daniela Ibarra shows us how low ridership has been.
The newness of this massive parking garage has faded.
Evidently the newness.
So has Zachary Morse's hope that it'll one day fill up.
I don't think that it was a very good idea.
Via opened the Park and Ride in Stone Oak 7 years ago. Right now, people can park there for free and catch a bus.
Nearly every day I would drive past here, and I would regularly, look over to the side and see this very large building behind us, and it appeared mostly empty.
The facility and the land it's built on cost just over $25 million. Bond funds, as well as state and federal grants, help pay for most of the project.
Do you think that this was a good use of money?
In its current state, no.
He wanted to know how many people actually use the garage. It's why he filed his own request to see the numbers.
I was almost hoping in the back of my mind that it would be, relatively used.
Pandemic looks.
5 years ago, KSAT Explained showed how ridership looked much different pre-pandemic.
According to VIA, buses carried passengers 275,000 times from that facility from June 2018 to February 2020.
New data shows since 2023, ridership from Stone Oak's facility is over 176,000.
What do you think about all that?
I think we need to do a better job at making sure that the infrastructure that we build is immediately useful. What's the long-term plan?
We took his concerns to VIA's Senior Vice President of Planning and Development, Rod Sanchez.
What would you say to people who are critics of this facility who think that this wasn't a good investment?
Stick around. More use of this facility is coming in the future.
In the next few years, Sanchez says a new route will be added to and from the facility, but it's not clear where that route will go to. There are also plans to make this area a center for its ride-sharing service, Via Link.
We knew ridership's not there. The pandemic slowed it down even more, but it's coming.
For KSAT Investigates, I'm Daniela Ibarra.
Well, helping those in need following the 4th of July floods, it is what one mechanic is doing.
Yeah, so Adrian Wolney and his wife own River Hills Automotive Services Center in Kerrville. And Adrian has been quietly helping repair tires, engines, and change the oil of flood victims and first responders in Kerr County. His work helping flood victims has slowed down a bit, but he continues to offer free help to first responders for as long as he can.
You're doing free oil changes for first responders that are working here in Kerr County.
Yes. And the fire department donated me a bunch of oil, and I'm going to do free fire service, fire trucks and firemen's vehicles with that oil as long as supplies last for free.
So he says many business owners have been quietly giving and helping without asking for anything in return. Right now on KSAT.com, you can see part 2 of this story. Patty Santos explains why vehicle problems for flood victims are still piling up. All right, now we head to the governor's desk, or now headed to the governor's desk, I should say, is Senate Bill 3, which supports the creation and installation of flash flood outdoor warning siren systems after receiving final Senate passage yesterday.
Legislation was filed in direct response to the devastating July 4th flood disaster in Kerr County and Central Texas and mandates the installation of proven outdoor warning siren technology to alert residents and visitors when flood danger is imminent, closing a public safety gap in Central Texas known as Flash Flood Alley, where youth camps, RV parks, and recreational areas remain highly vulnerable to flash flooding, often lacking reliable cellular service for emergency alerts.
So SB 3 is part of a broader package of Senate disaster preparedness bills, SB 1 and SB 2, which are currently awaiting final passage in the House, with several House bills making their way through the special session to provide Texans with life-saving flood response and recovery infrastructure.
And happening today, Governor Abbott is holding the Governor's Small Business Disaster Recovery Fair in Kerrville to bring together state and federal agency partners and resource providers to share information, resources, and assistance for small businesses impacted by the historic floods. So it's happening from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Inn of the Hills. Well, several new Texas laws passed in the 89th legislative session will affect the state's education system.
So KSAT 12's Madeline Lambert tells us what we can expect to see changing this coming Monday.
Public and private schools are expected to see major changes this school year. The latest Texas laws passed in the 89th legislative session include a school voucher program and dedicated prayer time. Here's a roundup of the new laws to help you keep track of what's changing. Let's start with the school voucher program. Senate Bill 2 will set aside $1 billion in taxpayer money over the next 2 years to fund education savings accounts. That's money parents can use to send their kids to private school. School board members will need to decide if they want to adopt a period of prayer time or study time. If a school district adopts a prayer period, students and guardians will need to sign a consent form. A new Texas law will ban diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI policies and programs in K-12 schools. The ban will also include training and programs on those topics unless they are required by federal law. This is just a quick look of the many laws that are going into effect on September 1st. If you want to see the full list, you can head over to KSAT.com. For now, I'm Madeline Lambert, KSAT 12 News.
Well, this morning, more than 30 Texas House Republicans want lawmakers back in Austin for another 30 days to revisit the state's political map.
So at least one Republican representative says any redistricting should be fair, but admits Republicans would like to add seats if possible. The push comes after a federal court decision and new interpretations of the Voting Rights Act. Democrats call it political payback for last year's quorum break, while some Republicans, like Kerrville's Wes Verdell, say they're worried the move could backfire.
Look out there with live cam. We are heating up, but that 82 degrees, that's going to be nothing compared to what we're going to see later in the afternoon.
Yeah, you're right, Steph. We're expecting those temperatures to soar up to near 100 later today. As we look at the drought monitor, and by the way, this just came in, it really is unchanged from last week. We continue to see the extreme drought around San Antonio and Medina County, and we have the exceptional drought across southeastern portions of Medina County. So we're talking the Lytle area and Natalia, and that's a place that's been hit pretty hard by lack of rainfall. We do have some chances coming up this weekend, and hopefully the places that need it do indeed get some. That is the hope. Forecast heat index today is going to be up around 103 here in San Antonio, 103 in New Braunfels, 102 Pleasanton, 102 in Hondo. These are the feels like numbers, but keep in mind humidity will be thick enough today to where if we get a high near 100, which I think we will, it'll feel a little bit warmer than that. Hey, we've got a big game on Saturday. I put this together a little bit earlier. UTSA will be visiting Kyle Field. There you go. 6 p.m. There is a chance for rain, so this could be kind of interesting. We'll see how this plays out. Temperatures will be near 90 there at Kyle Field. Should be a great game. I've seen a couple people picking the Roadrunners for the upset. Obviously, I'm not going in that direction. But
wait a minute.
It is going to be a good game, and we'll keep tabs on that forecast if you have plans to head to College Station.
Thanks, Ngegum.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting game. Looking out there with our TransGuide cameras, the TransGuide camera is looking good. Wurzbach at Wetmore Road. I'm going to have a look at the TxDOT website. Looks like there was a crash at Loop 410 at 281 eastbound, so there may be a lane closed over there. But as far as these other cameras, things are looking good so far.
By the way, I did go to A&M for 2 years, but I'm no dummy. So birds up, by the way, too.
Right.
Let's just in all transparency
I mean,
here.
but we all have that team.
Of course. Well, you went to UT. We got a Bobcat in the house, and we got all kinds of.
Eat them up.
But when they don't play our team,
of course,
we're always all about
Absolutely.
UTSA for
just wanted
sure.
to clarify that for housekeeping purposes.
Yes.
Okay, moving on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, people traveling to the game and in general, some much needed traffic relief coming to drivers on the city's far northwest side.
Speaking of, this is not far from the UTSA campus.
No,
RJ got a sneak peek of the new ramp along 1604, and he's here in studio to break it all down for us right now.
Yeah, guys, quite an experience there. Of course, drivers on the far northwest side want you to take a deep breath because this is some good news here. Later this afternoon, TxDOT is set to open a brand new flyover ramp by the Rim and the La Cantera area. You see this map right there indicating that one particular spot. This is going to be the tallest ramp in San Antonio at nearly 13 stories high. Yes, myself and photojournalist Alex Gomez got a sneak peek of this brand new ramp yesterday during a media tour that TxDOT provided. So again, this is going to take drivers from 1604 West, and we're going to take you on a little trip with us here to I-10 East. And yes, it definitely looks like some type of Six Flags Fiesta Texas roller coaster, but that is definitely not the case. Drivers will be able to hop on the new ramp at 1604 Northwest Military. You're watching this video right there. Drive over the interchange, past UTSA Boulevard, get back onto 10, and the first exit is going to be the Days of Olive Road exit off of Interstate 10.
This direct connector is the highest one we have, not only on this project at about 128 feet high, but also pretty much in the San Antonio region. The bridge itself, once you get on the direct connector all the way to the end, is about 1.5 miles.
And that right there is the TxDOT District Engineer, Charles Benavides. And some more stats here, because I'm obviously a stats guy. I love myself some sports. This ramp was built with more than 10.7 million pounds of steel and more than 33,000 feet of concrete beams. Beams, y'all. This is the third ramp at that interchange. The fourth flyover ramp is expected to open by the end of this year. All right, so good stuff there for our drivers out there. All right, now we're going to focus a little bit on some school zone safety. And we got a lot of violations that take place day in, day out. So we mentioned on the early version of Good Morning San Antonio that the school zone with the most traffic violations last school year was a bit of a surprise to me. The 700 block of Hildebrand by Incarnate Word High School. That was the top area where we had the most violations. But there's one neighborhood that I wanted to focus on that had more than 400 school violations when you combine these three schools right there. That's going to be Tejeda Middle School, Tejeda, Rowan Forest, and also Johnson High School. So myself and photojournalist Alex Gomez, I work with that guy a lot, checked out some of the traffic troubles along Bulverde and Evans roads.
It's really busy in the morning times. It makes you want to just set your day later.
Esther Rodriguez has lived in the far north side off of Highway 281 for more than 2 decades, and as the area has grown, so have the amount of students going to class.
Do you see most of the traffic backed up mostly on Evans or a little bit further up towards Johnson High School?
Here on Evans, it's craziness trying to get through. And I've seen accidents already going through there because there's just not enough leeway time for the cars to be able to brake.
There are 3 schools within a short distance of each other off of Evans and Bulverde roads. We jumped into DriveCam to check out the school zones starting at Tejada Middle.
This one school zone had more than 200 safety violations, traffic violations, according to the records from SAPD. And a lot of folks say that's because of the traffic on Evans Road. It tends to get backed up and a lot of folks tend to speed.
Now it's on to Johnson High School, which is around the corner on Bulverde Road.
This is a very busy area, of course. 188 traffic violations, according to SAPD's records from last school year. But for the most part, people that we spoke to around here say that traffic is under control. They see enough police presence and they feel pretty comfortable.
And tucked away off of Evans Road is Rowan Forest Elementary.
60 traffic violations, but on TPC Parkway, which is a little bit further up the road. But when you combine all 3 of these schools that we saw, that would be Tejada, Johnson, and Rowan right here, it is nearly 460 traffic violations in the last school year alone.
But for the most part, people that live here say the extra police presence is good to keep kids and drivers safe.
I mean, it's always pretty bad, especially now that school's back in session, but you just kind of have to time when you go out and run your errands.
Definitely more of a police presence here.
I think it's good. I mean, I'm probably guilty of going a little too fast sometimes, so it's good to keep me slowing down.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Were some of the people surprised, that there were a lot of violations in this area?
I think so. I mean, and obviously we have the 3 schools there. That is Tejeda Middles. Yes, I said Tejeda there. But it is Tejeda Middle School and obviously Johnson. They're literally right around the corner from one another. But one of the other stories we did earlier was about just the top 5. So I mentioned the East Hildebrand location. We also have Harriman Place. That's Collins Garden Elementary School. That's off of 9010, close to Burbank High School, Rigsby Avenue. And a lot of these are going to be kind of your main, kind of bigger streets. Right. Obviously Evans Road. And then Stone Oak Parkway, that one is Canyon Ridge Elementary School.
Oh, wow.
So those are our top 5 in terms of SAPD data. That did not include Bexar County. So if folks are wondering why maybe like Potranco or Culebra is not included in that mix, a little bit further outside 1604, this is all SAPD data.
And then these are violations like anything from speeding?
It's mostly speeding. I would say 90% are speeding. The other violations are using your phone in a school zone.
Yes.
Yeah, they list it as like using a wireless device. So just be careful if you're going out.
Those are expensive tickets.
Yes, they are. And that's why they have some of the extra signs, like not only the speed limit, but no cell phone usage.
Okay.
We see those all the time.
Great info, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
RJ.
Okay, 9:44, 82 degrees outside. More GMSA at 9 coming up.
That's right. Tonight, KSAT's Pigskin Classic. RJ, Ernie will be there. It's going to feature a match up between Sotomayor and Clark. So Sotomayor is one of San Antonio's newest high schools, and while their football program is top-notch, our Justin Horn's going to explain how it's also home to a awesome, mighty junior ROTC program.
Discipline and leadership are 2 of the biggest tenets of ROTC. So at Sotomayor, it's only fitting that these cadets have a strong leader.
Been all around the world, Desert Storm, Afghanistan, Gulf War.
Major Thomas Kleskowski is an Air Force veteran serving 23 years. And not only is he the head of ROTC, he teaches his favorite subject too.
And you are obviously an Air Force guy. You know a lot about planes.
Yes.
So how cool is it that you also get to teach aerospace?
Yeah, that is amazing.
And very fitting for Military City, USA.
Most of our kids have family members who are in the military, so they want to continue this, follow the footsteps and serve.
A fledgling program, Sotomayor's ROTC enrollment is on the rise.
Sotomayor is a big growing school with more than 2,500 students. So it stands to reason that the ROTC program is also growing. They have more than 130 students enrolled.
When we started in 2022, we had 67. So we've actually doubled in size.
The trophy case is thriving too.
And you guys are good. I see all the trophies back here. You guys have won some events, correct?
Yes, sir. Our goal is to go to Daytona, Florida this year for nationals.
They compete in drills like Armed Exhibition, and these guys and gals are talented.
I am really glad I joined because it's almost been like a second home for me here.
I've seen people grow from the quietest kid to someone who takes accountability, stands up, and takes charge of situations.
Whenever I first started, I pretty much did not talk at all.
Now, a confident leader, Samuel Teague had his reasons for joining.
My mom was in the Army. My stepdad was in both the Army and the Marines. My dad was in the Marines. My grandfather was, I think he retired as a captain in the Navy.
There may have been a secondary reason too.
And also to get out of PE.
No matter the motivation, these cadets are making Sotomayor proud.
Yeah, an awesome group of students there. Very impressive. And by the way, I should mention that this is not a recruitment tool for the military. But a lot of the students, I think they said about half of the students do end up enlisting. So great stuff. And we wish them the best of luck tonight as they take on Clark in football for the KSAT Pigskin Classic. All right, let's look at the tropical situation. And we've got an area highlighted here off the coast of Africa. About a 20% chance of development here, according to the Hurricane Center, with a little wave that it isn't really there yet, but it may start to show some signs of development. We have plenty of time to watch this as it will move across the Atlantic in the coming week, and we will do so. But that's really the only tropical issue that we have right now. Now let's take a look at the river flow. Maybe you are planning on doing some tubing or going out to the river this weekend. I will tell you that all the rivers are now back to kind of slow flow here. We're talking 80 to 85 CFS, which is not all that fast, but really it's still good if you want to go out and recreate there on some of the area rivers. The Frio too, kind of in the same boat. And as you saw with Garrett's story earlier, water quality seems to be okay. Let's talk about Labor Day, though, because if you are planning to float, you may have to dodge some showers and storms. There's a 30% chance of that late Saturday. Now, I'll say Saturday, the bulk of the action is probably going to be north of Interstate 10. So that's kind of the hill country area that we'll watch. Sunday, front kind of eases through the rest of the area, and that will give us some rain chances, 40%. Then on Monday, right now we're calling for early rain chances here in San Antonio, but some of that rain could linger, especially south of town. Here's the futurecast and kind of how I think it'll play out. This is Sunday at 2 o'clock, and it does show that the front's kind of working through, and we're getting some isolated to maybe scattered showers and storms. So the best chance being out across parts of West Texas and the hill country, as we said. Then as we get into Monday morning, shows activity flaring up here along the front. We shall see. But again, Monday morning, there would be a chance for rain. And then we think a lot of that would start to push south by the afternoon. And then we get some slightly cooler air coming in for Monday. It says cooler. Don't think it's going to be fall-like because it's not. We're talking low 90s, but it will be an improvement especially from what we're seeing today. 85 degrees right now, so temperatures are climbing, and they're climbing quick. Feels like 90 outside here in San Antonio. And you see there is cool air off to our north, but most of Texas is going to be very warm today. 82 right now in Abilene, 84 in Houston, and again, we have temperatures in the 80s here. 100 is where we head this afternoon. Heat index will be 100 to 105. And we showed you the weekend forecast there with those chances of rain. Do note that it will be somewhat slightly cooler Sunday into Monday.
The weekend, but not tonight.
Not tonight or tomorrow.
Okay. For Pigskin Classic.
Well, the game will go on
Yes.
rain, sleet, snow, or hail, or plenty of sun in this case. We're a little about 9 hours away from kickoff or so, and SA Live, as you might imagine, is all geared up, and they are making noise at Clark High School this morning. Fiona, good morning to you.
All right, the KSAT Pigskin Classic is tonight, and it's not just any game, it is the game, and we are here at Clark High School with all the Cougars! Woo! All right, we are getting pumped before the game tonight. I've got Gabby here with the dance team, I've got Liesl with cheer, and I've got Catalina with the Aristocats. Okay, ladies, what are you most excited about for tonight's game?
I'm most excited for our halftime performance and that we get to wear hats and boots.
Woohoo! We're styling! All right, Liesl, what about you?
I'm most excited for cheering all 4 quarters throughout the game, cheering on our Cougars.
All right, Catalina, you're up!
I'm so excited to cheer on our team with our new team this year and our new uniform.
Woo! And she gave us a spin! All right, you guys, let's keep the spirit going. All right, and Jen is over at Sotomayor at the pep rally. Bring it, Jen!
Tonight's the big night. It's the KSAT Pigskin Classic Showdown, and we're here at Sotomayor High School. We're getting a taste of the energy. They are ready to bring it tonight, and we are going to chat with the coach, the players, the cheerleaders, the band, everybody. So stay tuned.
All right, well, we also caught up with Somerset High School ahead of their big game, the Battle of 1604. And Jada went to the only Michelin star restaurant in town. She takes us to Michelin. All right, we want you to show your school spirit. We want you to scan that QR code. Whatever you're proud of with your kids in school, if you just want to give a shout out to their school, we want to see it. We'll be back with Policy Live right after this.
Okay, well, now let's look at the 7-day forecast, and this will be important over the next couple days, I know, with Labor Day weekend coming up. Very hot today and tomorrow. That's the main takeaway for the next 48 hours or so. And then over the weekend, we'll watch some storms gather, especially to our north on Saturday, and then some of that activity will work its way through on Sunday. So 40% chance of rain Sunday.
Gotcha. Well, for now, be careful with the heat tonight for the KSAT Pigskin Classic, but have a good time.
I hope to see you out there right now.